Who do you feel more connected to? Your local world, your neighborhood, your community? Or do you feel more connected to your online world? What the ideas or the adventures that you see on social media, on movies, your favorite content creators? Which ideas do you resonate more with? So this has actually been an idea that's come to mind quite a bit recently. It came from an author, Derek Sivers, and he said, sometimes I think it's helpful to view things from if we're more of a local person or a global person. I thought I was definitely more of a global person. I was interested in creating content. I was really into self-improvement and personal finance and entrepreneurship, and I still really do like those things. I liked what entrepreneurship offered in like this journey of capitalism and almost viewing it as a game that you need teammates. You need to use all your wit, your critical thinking skills. You need to communicate. You need to be on the same page. It's a longer journey. In my local environment, there was a few people around me that I think understood, and so it was good enough. And in my local community, I started connecting with people that were playing a similar game. Our reasons for playing might have been different, but secretly, I still kind of longed for a community that was more closer to the ideals of the global world that I was around. And so with this idea, it started to develop, and I started viewing the world a bit more through the lens of a spectrum. Some people may prefer to be locally based, some people may prefer to be entirely globally based, but you can choose, and who you are may actually shift based on the opportunities and the people around you. And who you are as a person may also shift. In some phases of your life, you may find yourself to be entirely on the local spectrum. You love being in an engaged community, in a local church, in your local business community, volunteering here where you physically are located. And then in other areas, you may find that certain ideals or certain adventures you can have through global means, through media, through vlogging your experience, and not wanting anyone in your local community to know about it, but exploring a different side of yourself in a global environment. There are these different elements of ourselves that earlier on, I thought it was a very binary decision. I thought you were very locally based or globally based. But in some ways, we may be entire locally based when it comes to our music. And when we perform, we want to perform in a certain environment with people that we know or in a certain local community, but we don't want to post our performances online. And in other ways, you may prefer to connect with people that have a similar mindset or maybe have a similar human experience, but prefer to connect with them globally. And I think that's somewhere closer to where I've been recently. I think in my local community, I really do enjoy the people that are in my life, my coworkers, my friends, the business community that I'm a part of. I take it for what it is, and it's people that are sharing the same space and physically location and wanting to have the best experience there. Now, do you click with everyone? Of course not. It's ridiculous to think that you would. And I think it's important to keep in mind that you should be able to laugh about some of the experiences that happen locally, because it's within this kind of lottery system of our birth. We were just placed here. There was nothing that we decided for. There was nothing that we did to decide where we were going to play in the world. And so you're just placed here. And so I think appreciating it and viewing it from the lens of this is just one of the canvases that I have to be myself in and to connect with other people and understand what the human experience is like for myself and for others. While at the same time now, because of the internet and technology, we now also have access to different communities, which is kind of unique in history. We've never been able to live in two different worlds. And although neither world is going to be perfect, there may be some emotional things that we wish the people around us knew or how to handle situations so we could be better cared for and better developed. And in some ways, we wish that the online world wasn't so focused on certain material desires or promoting certain ideas or all the advertisements. We may wish to change some aspects of our local world as well as some aspects of the global world, but we have two different worlds to play in. And I think both of them offer unique value and understanding, as well as they almost can be a mirror to ourselves and understanding ourselves and seeing in what ways we like showing up in the world and maybe in what ways we don't have access or we don't feel comfortable expressing ourselves in this way in the local world, but in a global world where there is maybe a layer of detachment or maybe a layer of vulnerability that we're more comfortable with, we have avenues to explore ourselves in this regard. So in this quest that we're on of living this human experience and trying to get to know ourselves as well as engaging with the world around us, I think it's helpful to view this lens of local and global and the opportunities, advantages, and maybe disadvantages that both offer. And so there's beauty in both. There's beauty in being able to connect with your local business community, connecting with religious organizations, connecting with just people in your everyday life, people that are going to the same grocery store, people that are going to the same performances, people that are going to the same concerts in your local town, as well as the beauty of a global world. Understanding that someone hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away, tens of thousands of miles away, maybe having a similar human experience to the way that we are living day to day, there's something that's really comforting. And in the end, this is all we really have: our local worlds, our global worlds, and who we are. There's no changing it, but we can explore different sides of ourselves based on how we want to show up and in the environments that we're in. If you enjoyed this video, you might also appreciate the best advice my dad gave me here. And if you watched to the very end, you might as well like the episode and subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for listening.